The full trailer for Andor just dropped. Let's do this.
To steal from the Empire? You just walk in like you belong. They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting.
You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief?
You're slipping.
I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what revolution looks like.
I'm tired of losing.
Alrighty, so if you've been tracking along with my recent Star Wars coverage, you know I was very disappointed by both Book of Boba Fett as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Both of them just felt like they were seriously lacking when it came to both the writing as well as just even kind of the look, the execution. Just something was very off in both those shows, and those were the two that I was actually really excited about because they were established characters, kind of interesting points in time in the timeline, and there were things about them that just made them more obvious front runners for most anticipated. But then oddly enough, Andor, the project I was like, really? Andor? We're doing an Andor series? All the details about that one started to make it seem like maybe that's the Star Wars show that I should be excited about. And we got our first teaser for Andor right as Obi-Wan was dropping. It's like, this actually looks like this is really well done. And somehow Andor is now the project that I have seems like my last hope for Star Wars at the moment, because that trailer seems like they're actually going for it. The production looks much bigger, more cinematic. The shots seem like they have a much grander scope to them. With both Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett, they were doing the Mandalorian, whatever that new technology they're doing is, and it seems like that just limited what they could do in a shot. And it seems like whether they just didn't do that with this show or they found a way to make the shots look bigger, but that looks more expansive in nature. It doesn't look like it's being written and executed for the lowest common denominator, which Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan seem so simplistic in their storytelling and depth of certain things that just seemed like it was aiming way too low. And if you're going to do something tied to Rogue One, which the nature of the story. It's not made for the broadest possible audience. A lot of younger viewers aren't going to be drawn as much towards a story like that. And I speak as someone that has kids that love Star Wars but are not drawn towards Rogue One. They probably won't be drawn towards this show. Just seems like it's going a bit more mature. I'm totally down for that. And just the things that have felt off to me about Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett, I haven't seen in the 2 trailers we've had for Andor thus far. In general, as I've said many times before, I don't want them to keep telling Star Wars stories in the same exact time period. Between episode 3 and 4, Reign of the Empire, that seems like we've got a lot of things. I guess if you expand it a little bit more than that, from episode 2 to episode 4 seems like the window they keep just going to the Clone Wars plus the Reign of the Empire. And of course, there's a lot of potential in there because that is so much the setup for the war in Star Wars. But I feel like I want to go somewhere else in the timeline. That still stands. We are, okay, going to the same little batch of time one more time. But does it look like they did it right? The teasers look good. Now, the teasers for Obi-Wan look good too. Trailers for Obi-Wan look good too. Book of Boba Fett, that one always felt a little bit off to me. As soon as we started to see stuff from it. But Kenobi looked good. But this, if you just look, I know what I'm looking for and what feels off and what felt so off about these past couple of shows. I'm not seeing that. In which case I can just watch this and be like, all right, I think I'm excited. It's also not the 6 episodes. That's the other thing that with these streaming shows on Disney Plus where they do these 6-episode seasons, especially with Marvel and then Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi, and they just, it's the wrong compromise between a 2-hour movie and a full season. This isn't 6 episodes. So that has me going, okay, there's a lot of potential there. It feels like you understand you're doing a TV show, but you're not, doesn't look like they're skimping on the budget. So, I don't know. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, what am I thinking? But, like, maybe I'm fooling myself in going for this, but I don't know. It looked good to me. Looks like we might have an actually good Star Wars show with some depth and maturity again. So, I'm excited for it, despite the fact that Andor isn't the character I would think, man, that's the basis for a great TV show right there. And despite it being in that time frame where I want them to move away from, the execution looks good, at least at the moment. So maybe this is my last hope for Star Wars before I throw in the towel. Please don't let me down. Please give me some good Star Wars. Please don't rip out my heart once again. Let me know what you thought down below, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.